In Beringia camp life, mornings don't begin with sunlight. They begin with a decision. A hand moves through the ash, slow, careful, like touching something sacred. Not searching for comfort. Searching for existence. One coal, then another. A dim orange pulse, barely alive. Because in Ice Age survival, if the fire dies, this isn't a hard day. This is the day a camp starts to vanish. A single twig feeds a single second. A single second becomes a chance. The flame wavers. And then, it takes. A child watches the fire the way we watch screens now. Because it holds the whole world. This is first American's daily life. This is life before Columbus. This is ancient America survival. Where the day doesn't start when the sun rises. The day starts when the fire survives. The shelter check. The shelter isn't a home. It's a shield. The wind here isn't background noise. It is an enemy with hands. Kaya and Old One circle the shelter like engineers inspecting a failing bridge. A loose binding snaps in a gust, small, but deadly. They seal every crack. They pack snow into seams, not for beauty. But because packed layers trap air, and trapped air becomes warmth. Footprints carve circles around the shelter. Constant motion. Constant work. The child stays behind the windbreak, always. Because camp life here isn't living. Water is paid for in fire. Sumi takes the quiet job. Water. But in this world, you don't find water. You earn it. She gathers snow into a container and slides it near the coals. Steam rises slowly, thin, fragile, like the camp itself. Every moment the fire melts snow. It isn't drying clothing. It isn't cooking food. It isn't guarding the camp. Hands warm first, always. No bare skin on cold metal. No wasted movement. The child gets a tiny drink. A moment of relief. But relief here always has a cost. More snow. More fuel. More time. In this camp, water isn't free. Water is fire, converted into life. Breakfast isn't a meal, it's a plan. Breakfast doesn't arrive like comfort. It arrives like a meeting. Kaya doesn't look at the food like someone who wants it. He looks at it like someone calculating distance. The child eats first. Because children can't pay adult costs. The scout gets enough to move far, and come back alive. The rest is divided so nobody becomes weak before the day's work is done. No one eats fast. No one eats happily. Even while chewing, eyes scan the horizon. Because eating makes you vulnerable. You can't fight well while eating. You can't run well while eating. So they eat like they are under pressure. Because they are. Food is not a snack. Food is tomorrow. The camp becomes a workshop. Now the camp becomes something else. A workshop. This is where intelligence becomes drama. A stone flake breaks clean, sharp in a second. But then the real work begins. Shaping, refining, testing. Because a dull edge demands extra force. And extra force invites injury. And injury out here is not pain. It's a countdown. Tarek watches, not like a curious child. But like someone staring at the only school that matters. This is how knowledge survives the Ice Age. Not through books. Through attention. Old One lifts the finished point toward the light. Not proudly. Just, ready. Because ready is the only luxury this camp can afford. The work after the hunt. Most people imagine the hunt is the hard part. Strips are placed near smoke. Not too close, not too far. The fire managed like a living machine, steady, controlled, fed carefully. The wind changes direction and the camp shifts with it. Fast, quiet, no wasted motion. Someone stands watch while others work. Because the camp never fully relaxes. Not even in domestic moments. Urgency without panic. A team working under a clock only they can see. Because they can see it clearly. Spoilage, scavengers, storms. A future that steals food without warning. Child learns the rules. Sumi teaches the rules. Not gently. Clearly. She draws a boundary in the snow. This side, fire, shelter, safety. That side, the world that kills. She points. She signals, do not cross. Simple enough to remember when fear takes over. The child practices tying a knot. Sumi corrects it immediately. Because out here, practice isn't play, it's preparation. The child looks toward the darkness beyond camp, curious. And Sumi pulls them back instantly. Survival isn't only skill. Survival is training. Children survive by staying connected. The scout reads the world. Tarek walks alone into the cold. The firelight shrinks behind him, and the world grows. Bigger, colder, louder. He reads snowdrifts like language. He checks wind with breath, hand, grass, whatever the land offers. Birds lift suddenly in the distance. Not random reactive. A line of darker clouds gathers like an approaching decision. You don't need monsters here. Weather is enough. Tarek pauses, listens, scans. Move or stay. And then he turns back, fast. When he returns, Kaya is already standing. Not because he heard words. Because leaders recognize urgency before it is explained. Now comes the real conflict. And it must feel true. Kaya wants to move now. While strength and visibility still belong to them. Old One wants time. Because drying food and checking tools raises survival odds later. Sumi wants the child safe. Because a child cannot pay the same cost adults can. Nobody is wrong. That's what makes it terrifying. Then Kaya signals, move. Old One hesitates, just long enough for the viewer to feel the weight. And then nods. The camp's choice is made. Safety wins today. But food becomes the debt they carry forward. Breaking the camp. Morning doesn't bring peace. It brings movement. Everything that looked like home becomes gear again. Bundles packed tight. Hides rolled. Knots pulled until they bite. Coals are buried, saved for later, protected from wind. And then something haunting. They erase themselves. They smooth the ground. They reduce tracks. Because the camp doesn't want to be found. Not by animals. Not by strangers, not even by accident. The place where a camp existed now looks empty. Just tundra. Just wind. Like nothing happened. But something did happen. They survived one more night. Cliffhanger. They walk again. A small line of life crossing an enormous world. Tarek leads. Then he stops so fast the entire group freezes. He drops to one knee. Fresh tracks. Sharp. New. Not the herd from yesterday. Something else is moving. Same direction. The wind sweeps across the prints like it wants to erase the truth. Tarek looks forward, into the white distance. Because whatever made those tracks is not behind them.